This takes the form of what looks like a acro or some kind of red dot, but this little thing right here is a thermal sight. You could run this on a pistol because it's so small. You could also use it as a canted optic, so like, you know, running it next to an LPVO with a little canted thermal, and then you could use it just as a standalone optic. As exciting as that all sounds, I'm a little just skeptical because it's a pocket-sized thermal. Now I know that the tech with thermal is getting more and more, I guess, reachable and obtainable, but this just was a giant leap, and also the price point's less than I would have thought as well. We'll get there. I right now have it showcased on a 2011-ish gun. This is a Stealth Arms Platypus. Got it cut with a Leupold Delta Point Pro footprint, and once you get this, you could get different adapters. You don't have to buy a new one of these thermals for every application. That'd be insane. So I got a Leupold Delta Point Pro print on there. They also have things like 45-degree cants, like I said. RMR is what it ships out with. And there's also piggyback stuff, so it could be on top of an LPVO. I'll screenshot their accessories here just so you can see their current list of accessories and ways to run it. We're gonna run it initially on a pistol just because that's so unique. I just haven't seen that done, and for what it matters, it's also a Dead Air Mojave 9. I'm wondering if this is gonna get too warm to where it's gonna distract the thermal, so maybe we take that off, but in any case, just style points, that's gonna be pretty fun. This is a PSA Mark 12 Mod S for the Saber. Not clone correct, just a cool little 14.5-inch Mark 12-ish type rifle. 1 to 10 LPVO from Vortex, and running it next to this 1 to 10, we have the Infotech 45-degree cant here. And so maybe whether you want to zero it or not, if you want to zero it so you could shoot through it like this as well, or if you want to have the most minimalistic reticle and just use it to scan with, then you could do that as well. And then lastly, I'm just going to go ahead and put a pick rail to RMR cut and just use it directly on something with a pick rail here, like the Springfield Armory Kuna. And if we're not bored yet, maybe I'll throw it on the pick rail of a 22 as well, just to show it in all kinds of forms. It's got 256 by 192 resolution at a 60 hertz refresh rate. The lens is a 13mm with the f1 aperture. It's got a 1.4-inch 360 by 300 touchscreen display. All that being said, sounds cool and techy, but again, with the touchscreen, how, you know, bomb-proof is it? Well, I don't know about that, but it is waterproof and can withstand 1200 G of recoil. The thing only weighs 4 ounces and it runs on a CR2 battery. They say up to 5 hours battery life, but that's optimal conditions with probably the lower brightness. So we'll see about that. External power supply is an option as well with the side port. They have a 3-year warranty. Without getting too ahead of myself and optimistic, do I recommend it yet? Well, we obviously have to shoot with it. But I will say this, $699 is the current price. And I've been reluctant to say prices lately, so why I just did, I don't know. Just because of elephant in the room, the whole tariff stuff, prices have been adjusting so fast. As of right now, they're $700. I would expect, if anything, they probably do go up. If you guys want one, I'll leave a link in the description. Don't do that just yet though. Let's see if they're actually worth a damn. As far as how to use it, I'll kind of walk you around the thing. It's actually dead simple, and that's coming from me who's elderly at heart. Got the small little lens here, and you got 1 button, 2 button. This is where to change the battery. And you have your little port here, type C for external power. No charging because again, it runs on the battery right here. To power the thing on, you just press and hold this for a few seconds. You'll see the Infotech logo pop up here. What I learned though is it's gonna want to refresh right away. So it's best to actually cover this for the first few seconds. Once the thing's powered on, being a touchscreen is kind of interesting. So to cycle through different reticles, swipe this way, went to a little small red dot there, dot and circle, larger dot and circle, and those are your different reticles. Swiping the other way changes the color to red, green, black. It's there somewhere, there it is, and then white, and then back to where we started. Swiping this way changes the color palette. So I'll give you guys some better B-roll and stuff when I get home. Use my dog or cat as an example, off the gun obviously, but we have this palette. Oh, here we go, with my truck. That's got a little bit more color to it. Got black hot, and then we got white hot. You see my brakes are a little bit warmer there. And that same goes for swiping the other way, so you could go back where you were on the color palettes. Pressing and holding this bottom button here, that'll go into your menu system. So you got brightness control, contrast, calibration. It's on auto right now. Power off settings. You got factory reset, information button, and then zeroing, which we're gonna have to do here in just a little bit. Hold that bottom button down to get away from that. And there we are. So by the way, there's my truck. Oh, and one more function on the screen is it's at 0.5 times zoom. You can actually pinch zoom digitally for a 1-time zoom, and that's all the zoom you got. 0.5 and 1, you go back and back down, there's 0.5 again. And that's about it. It's pretty dead simple in the sense that there's no GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or even built-in recording. We're gonna try to zero it. I don't have a hot pack or cardboard or anything like that. But if you take a look at what I'm seeing, I'll put the safety on here. I see that large swinging target pretty well. In fact, maybe it's even worth if I pinch zoom a little bit. There's the swinging targets. So let's go ahead and start with the large one on the left. And if I miss, hopefully I just see a hot spot somewhere in the ground. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I see a little heat signature low of that. Yeah, I think I do see that. So let me try to dial this up a little bit. I'm gonna go to zeroing. So I'm gonna go to the y-axis here, and I'm able to bring it down, and it'll show me my original reference point. So let's see if that works. Oh, is that as easy as that? Let's move over to something smaller. And smaller. And smaller. How about that? Pretty easy to zero. And then if I'm not mistaken, I think I just press and hold this bottom button, and I think she should be zeroed. All right, first impressions, quick little zero. I mean, it's working. All right, just to make sure we go through all the guns during some daylight, I'm gonna go ahead and change things out here. So it's held on by 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, and I got 1 more to do here. Saving that just so you guys can see what I'm doing. And there we go. And now it pops off like this. So you can actually see the entire size of this thing. And then this is the Infotech plate that's for RMR. I'm sorry, for Delta Point Pro on this one. And it just slots in here, screw it down. And so we're gonna put it on the Mark 12 now. And so we're gonna take this adapter here, so RMR, and we're gonna place it here. We're gonna screw it in with the screws it comes with. That's screwed down. We go ahead and place this and then screw in the 4 screws. And now that I do that, I just realized I maybe didn't leave myself room here. So maybe I'll just slide this thing out. All right, last screw here. Now again, I didn't really plan that right just because I didn't take that into account, but no big deal. It's not like I zeroed it yet or anything. So now we go ahead and place this down here and it all fits the same. Look at the temperature difference in the trees and all that good stuff. Extra 0.5 zoom. That's actually pretty helpful. So this could just be like a scanning device until you see a hog or something like that, and you could get a little bit more precise here if you have like a different clip-on or something. I don't know. But otherwise, you could shoot with it as well. If you want it just for scanning, you could kind of go to like a more minimal reticle, something like a black reticle with just the dot, so it kind of goes away there. And back to 0.5, just a really good scanning device. All right, not a fully loaded mag, but you know, just enough to get a little bit of impressions running a canted thermal. So yeah, you could see it's pretty easy to scan these targets. That's at 0.5. Throw it in a little closer. And I'm just gonna go to my reticle in here. Now let's go ahead and actually bring the reticle back. Let's do red and a larger one. I haven't zeroed it yet. Yeah, just kind of up to you. Run it like this and actually zero it, or just a more minimal reticle that just kind of goes away and just use it to scan. I'll be honest, like I'll kind of give my opinions at the end here, but I could see this being the most popular use case for sure. There's those 2 rounds, nice and hot there. Very cool. Temperature difference right there with the logs. I think that was a burn pile, that's why it's a little warm right now. Pretty cool. Oh, what was that? There's something running on there. I think I saw a bunny for a split second, so that's kind of cool. Changing things up once again, we're gonna run it directly on top of a pick rail. You could get this adapter at Infotech as well. We're at 1 time zoom, let's back it down to 0.5. I don't know if this is gonna have the strength to really make a big, you know, temperature contrast, but this is a little lighter torch. I'm wondering if I hold it here, maybe we'll do it for 2 of them. Look how white those are relative to the rest of them. Even the back of it's pretty warm. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to hold just a little to the left here. We'll throw it on a 22 just because, I don't know, just showcase all the different use cases. Maybe you get this just for a recreational range day toy or range evening, range night toy. And it's on a 22. This is a Rigger Mark IV with a new dead air can on there. So I'll feature this a little bit more in an upcoming video, but I figured why not, let's just get it out here right now. And so let's do just that. It should be sighted in. I did a little bit off camera here. We're at 0.5, which is a little far is what I'm learning. So put the safety on here. And let's go ahead and go to 1. Helps me out a little bit. I will say, just kind of giving my opinion just from what I have so far, running it on an actual pistol, haven't seen that get done before, so hell yeah, it's cool. But I would keep that on the recreational side of things. I'm trying to think of real world usability. I'm thinking, okay, well, if you have this on a full-size pistol and it's a nightstand gun, that seems cool. See someone that doesn't see you because of thermal, but realistically, you're going to grab it, turn it on, wait a few seconds, cover it here, see the reticle go, and no, you're just going to hit them with the X300 Ultra and just blind them, and you'll have the advantage. That's what I would think I would do. But that's not what the use case here. I think this is just cool for something like this. Throwing it on a pistol that's not your, life or death pistol. Maybe throw it on something that's just a ranged toy. Where I really see a usable application is in the realm of hunting. If you want to put it as your standalone optic, it could work, certainly, and you're going to have a much lighter system because it's 4 ounces. There's obviously mega compromises if it's going to be your standalone thermal scope for like hog hunting as opposed to using like a DNT, for example. Though I've been featuring them a lot, either their Thermite or Hydra. That's going to have a major advantage for hog hunting. But could you get it done with one of these? I think so, but mainly in hog hunting, put it on a 45-degree cant. You gain 4 ounces on your setup plus the whole mount on the pick rail. That's not too bad. And if you want to stay with something else, let's say it's a night vision scope, but you want to have a little thermal to scan, I think you could get creative with it and just that little 45-degree cant or piggyback, whatever you want to do, but having it on a rifle and using it as just a scanner, that's pretty cool. Or just have it in your pocket and use it as a scanner. That's big too, without like lugging out a whole lot of equipment. That's the real world use where I could actually see it as an advantage. So that being said, recreational, 10 out of 10. Hog hunting, again, kind of on a 45 or just a standalone, honestly, not bad at all. As far as, life or death, bomb proof like an ACOG or an RMR, nah, probably not there. But then again, this is a thermal for $699. That's the size of a freaking postage stamp nearly on a certain angle on it. If you're just wanting something different, range toy, all that good stuff, again, first day out shooting with it, hasn't failed me, has a 3-year warranty, all that stuff. If you guys are interested, I'll leave the link in the description. As I'm shooting this video, again, usually reluctant to say the prices, but check the date of the upload. It's $699. No sale, nothing like that. It's just flat out $699. There you go. I think it's $50 more for an FDE model. I will say that. But this black one, just under $700. I'll probably feature it in other videos. Just, I'm bored. I'm going to throw a little side thermal on there or whatever. So you guys will see this some more. But I thought I'd make a standalone video on it just because there's not a whole lot out there already. And I kind of wanted to set the expectations on what can you expect out of a tiny little $700 thermal. More than I expected. So pretty cool. If you guys want one, like I said, link in the description down below. Check it out if you guys are interested. But that does it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys next time.